Well, the polls told us that we were going to have a close race in New Jersey.
Right.
Polls indicated, and good polling, the kind of polling that I like, the primo polling, coming in at like a 7-point edge for Cheryl. The spread right now is a lot more than that.
Right.
And there were a bunch of less good polls that were coming in. It's 1 point, it's 3 points, it's a very close race. And then you'd say, well, geez, if Jack Ciattarelli outperforms the polls by just the same margin that he did 4 years ago, this thing is tied, it's gonna be quite a race. Those numbers are going the opposite direction of that. Same story in Virginia, a little different in the sense that the polls always forecast a wide win for Abigail Spanberger, but not necessarily a 14-point kind of wide win. And here is what I will tell you. The question for Republicans is, can they get their lower propensity voters to the polls when Donald Trump is not on the ballot? And can they get them to the polls when it's not fun? Because winning and maintaining a majority is dependent on getting your voters to go out.
Haven't done it in the Trump era, period.
They have not done it in the Trump era. And I fully expect that, if Donald Trump were on the ballot again today, and he were running again, that he would outperform his polls again, because these voters who don't typically participate, that come in, would be there and they would nudge those numbers up. But we see exactly the opposite happening here in lower turnout elections, is that those lower propensity working class voters aren't there for Republicans.
So there's a couple of things, and we can pop up, I think I got Jersey on the screen, and we can pop it up behind us on the wall. So the question is it Trump, right? Is it, and Mikey Sherrill wins, or is winning 56-43. But if we looked at some of those counties, Chris, like you were telling me, look at like Essex County, for example, and we'll just bring it up again. Is it that Republicans can't perform with Trump on the ballot now, or is it in these places, and I'll just take a look at the census data in Essex County, where you have a lot of minority voters, that there is some backlash, like I was talking to Mike Lawler about, with the way the president's carrying out his policies and the backlash is against him in year one, immigration in particular?
So Democrats made a fundamental mistake over the course of 10 or 15 years in treating Hispanic voters as monolithic, and assuming that immigration was a driving factor for Democrats, for Hispanic voters again and again and again, which misunderstood the nature of the electorate. I have watched Republicans make a similar mistake in reverse, which is that Hispanic voters don't care about that issue because they only care about this other thing, and that the salience of that issue is broken. I will promise you that when you start doing mass deportations and we're checking papers and they're asking courts for the power to basically stop and frisk kind of approach to people based on the language they speak or their complexion or anything like that, that will cause Hispanic voters to bunch up and not in Republicans' favor.
Do we have that reaction from Trump? I guess he hadn't, earlier he hadn't said anything, but I think he said something. There it is. little Ricky Henderson, the late Ricky Henderson always spoke in the third person. Trump wasn't on the ballot, shut down were the two reasons Republicans lost the election.
According to pollsters, attributed according to pollsters.
So who do you think, the name of those pollsters would be?
Well, I'm sure, look, there's truth in what he says. And we just acknowledge the part about him not being on the ballot. But the shutdown, I don't think hurts I don't think it hurts Republicans nearly as much as Democrats imagine it does.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.